All right, welcome back to our Thursday Facebook Live. So today's big question is, what's the difference between a WordPress business and a business powered by WordPress? So last Tuesday we were talking about, this fellow that posted on one of my Facebook posts about how WordPress attracts all the cheap clients, and is it really true that that's the case? And of course, obviously that's not the case. We talked about just the other day how I sold a $7,700 WordPress project with a Google Doc. That's a big deal. At least it's a big deal to me, and I wouldn't consider that to be a cheap client at all. So, what's the difference though between like running a WordPress business versus running a business that's powered by WordPress? Like, what's the difference there? Why does it make a difference? What does it mean with regard to the types of clients that you can attract? And so, let's define it real quick. So, the reason I even wanted to talk about this is because there's so many people out there that are really struggling with, trying to find the right clients. Sometimes they spend time on Upwork or Fiverr or job boards or whatever, or they're looking for like ad agencies or different kinds of firms to kind of outsource, to kind of get the overflow work from, or they're trying to connect in with graphic designers to try to provide these WordPress skills for those types of businesses. Where so the value that you're providing, if that's the kind of business that you have, you're providing the kind of value where you can build a theme, you can build a plugin, you can keep a site secure, you know how to host a site, you can do plugin and core updates and all of those types of things. That's the kind of stuff that brings WordPress skills to the table. So another area where like a WordPress business might be trying to focus would be trying to be the almost like a full-time employee, except for on a contract basis, for like a large business trying to like just keep the site maintained and so forth. And so what I'm trying to say with all of that is, like, there's a lot of people out there that are trying to provide WordPress skills to businesses looking for those types of skills. And what my position is on all of that, and it has been for a while now, is that it's an increasingly difficult thing to do. It's not impossible to do. There's absolutely people doing that. And in fact, I think there's even a couple people in this group that have like these long-term relationships with like PR firms or just like one client that pays them, pretty much their whole annual salary, and they provide WordPress skills to those clients. And it's specifically focused on the WordPress. Like somebody needs like a theme developed, or they, like a graphic designer like makes a Photoshop file and they need somebody like you to, convert that into a WordPress theme or something like that. Or there's a really specific need for a plugin that doesn't exist. And so they contact you and you write that plugin. So all of that is to say that there's people out there doing that. But my position is it's an increasingly difficult thing to make a living doing, more so now than really ever before, because there used to be a time, like we were talking before, like there used to be a time where I actually did that work. Like even before there was WordPress, I used to work with ad agencies. The ad agencies would give me the web development work to do for their clients that might traditionally be marketing offline, direct mail campaigns primarily. And so, and then that kind of transitioned into, well, they're taking on, the ad agencies are sort of internalizing that workflow. And, now that WordPress is out there, they can spin up these brochure sites. But what they couldn't do was the more complex stuff, which like e-commerce stuff or like multi-page forms for like college applications and, that sort of stuff. And I used to do a lot of that. And that was what I called kind of WordPress freelancing like 2.0. So 1.0 was like being the outsourced web agency for like traditionally offline marketing agencies. And then 2.0 was, okay, well now they're doing all that themselves. 2.0 is kind of like you can do the more advanced stuff. And that's kind of where Cart66 came in. That's where e-commerce came in, email marketing, driving those kinds of results through the stuff that you can do that's kind of more advanced than just kind of putting up a WordPress site with a contact form on it. And then what I feel like we're entering into now is WordPress 3.0, where even that relatively complex stuff is kind of easy to do now, and certainly not exclusive to the people that really seem to be at the top of the field with regard to WordPress. And so if you have a client that knows they want WordPress and they know they just need a plugin, you can get outsourced work, help for that. There's people that can convert, PSDs to like HTML really fast, really easy, really cheap. There's people out there that can do like really, specific WordPress plugins really fast, really easy, really cheap. And so when you're trying to like get that kind of work, it's very, very difficult. And so WordPress 3.0 now though is really the shift from having a WordPress business to running a business powered by WordPress. And the reason that I feel like this is a critical thing to understand is because there's, most of the clients that you work with, like if you're in the business of kind of shifting your target market away from the ad agencies, away from the graphic design work that, you're trying to connect in with graphic designers and you're trying to make WordPress themes for their designs, and you're kind of trying to shift out of that and start working directly with clients, then I actually feel like that's the best opportunity for really just crushing it with your business. And at this point, as we kind of bring ourselves into this new era of WordPress freelancing and consulting, the WordPress aspect of it doesn't matter to the clients. So that's how you can tell if you've got a WordPress business or a business powered by WordPress. If you ask yourself the question, does WordPress matter to the clients that I'm working with? And if the answer is yes, then you're probably running a WordPress business. If the answer is no, then you're probably running a business powered by WordPress. And I think that what you're going to find, and I've certainly found this to be the case, I've been doing this like 16 years now, and I've spent a lot of time even before WordPress and really deep into the WordPress community for 10 years, that the people I talk to and even my own personal experience suggests that now is the time to shift from being a WordPress business, offering themes and plugins and site maintenance and updates and hosting and all of the things that really have WordPress at the top of the list, and shifting into a business that's powered by WordPress, where now you're able to offer these awesome outcomes like getting more leads, getting more sales, implementing e-commerce, doing an online course, setting up email marketing campaigns, connecting websites to social media, all of those different kinds of things that you can do for your clients. And you power all of that with WordPress and the WordPress ecosystem. And the reason that that's so awesome is because there's never been a time ever in like the history of the world where there's this much opportunity out there for you. Because it used to be the case that clients needed to, or like actual businesses, if they wanted to get online and they wanted to actually do a good job with marketing their own business and getting clients and getting calls and increasing their revenue because of the stuff that they're doing online, they had to go out and hire a marketing agency or a marketing firm or an ad agency to do all of that stuff. And the reason why was because they needed somebody who could do great design work, and then they needed somebody who knew how to do the technical stuff, and then there was the web guy, and there's all of these other components that were in the mix. The marketing strategy, and like it used to be really complex to do all of these kinds of things, and you kind of needed like a full agency to pull that stuff off. But now today, the agencies tend to not really need the WordPress developers that much, because they've, at least in terms of the freelancers, because they bring on their own team to do that sort of stuff. But my contention is that while it could be tempting to say, well, I've kind of worked myself out of a job because, all the agencies are not hiring me anymore. And, you send out these proposals that used to, be thousands of dollars worth of work for you. And now, you're kind of getting beat down on the price. And so you lower your price. And so then you end up accepting clients for way less than that you're worth. And then, you do all of this work, and it's just so frustrating because you feel like you're the one getting ripped off, and you're, but you're ripping yourself off because you can't seem to get the clients at the prices that you want to intentionally lower your rates, even though you know that you could be doing better. And so it's just this really frustrating, vicious cycle. And so it's tempting to think I should quit and give up and not do it anymore. The market's gone. But the truth is, the market is just emerging. And what the cool thing is like it used to be the case that you needed the ad agencies. Now it's the case you can do all of this stuff on your own, because the WordPress economy has evolved to the point where people that know how to do this stuff can absolutely crush it. The ecosystem is so powerful now. There's better themes out there than ever before. There's more plugins that do really cool stuff than ever before. There's, e-commerce is available in an easier way than ever before. All of the headaches that used to be there with hosting, deploying hosting, figuring out how to secure your site, making sure that everything is, online and all the time. And, you've got a staging area and deploying the sites, and all of that used to be a headache. It's not anymore. And so, all of those things are just sitting right there for you to do, and you can do the whole thing, and you don't have the overhead of these huge ad agencies that have big offices and fancy buildings and lots of employees, and, all of the things that go on with running like a large scale ad agency is now available to you and to do as a WordPress freelancer. And so the key then is, how do you transition from being a WordPress business to being a business powered by WordPress? And the answer is, you don't have to talk about the WordPress stuff anymore. You need to talk about the business outcomes that you can generate with the WordPress ecosystem, right? So the fact that you now know how to build these sites and you can generate these outcomes. So here's the thing. It doesn't really matter what kind of business you're working with. It can be someone who sells swimming pools, right? Or somebody who is like I work with a lot of doctors and functional medicine people and integrative health folks. That tends to be kind of the niche that I'm in. But same thing goes for psychologists or dentists or lawyers or real estate agents or whoever it is. They don't care if their website is powered by WordPress or not. I mean, they might, they might have heard about WordPress. They might like that technology, whatever. I don't know. But what they care about is they want to sell more swimming pools, right? Or they want people to come in to their office, and they want people to come back more often, and they want people to spend more money with them while they're there, and they want more leads. They want more phone calls. There's lots of business objectives that these businesses want, and they don't even care. I mean, most of the clients that I work with, if I was just sending out smoke signals or whatever, if that was generating these results, they would buy the smoke signals instead of the websites or whatever. So what they want are these outcomes. And what I'm saying now is we have this ability and this power that we've never had before because of all of this great stuff that's out there. And I know that there's a bunch of people. I mean, probably even a lot of people. I don't know if it's the majority or not, but since I've been doing a lot of work on Facebook and kind of building this community here that we're in right now, a lot of people say these are kind of really mean things on, like, I'll post stuff on Facebook and they're like, oh, it always gets hacked, or it's always just a mess. It's the low end of the bottom of the barrel, the low end of everything. And what they're saying is not entirely false, because I think what they're seeing is they've, either they themselves or they know people who've been trying to actually make a living selling WordPress services. And that tends to be an increasingly difficult thing to do. And the evidence is out there. Like if you look at Upwork, or you look at, like for example, Upwork, on the actual Upwork website, it will tell you that the average price for a WordPress project is $194. And that means that's what like a business will pay to Upwork to get a freelancer to do a WordPress thing. And that's what that literally is. It's like the bottom of the barrel. It's like you can't make a living on $194 projects, even $500 projects. You can't do even $1,000. Like if you were building $1,000 websites and you wanted to make $60,000 a year, you'd have to build 5 websites every month. That's more than one a week. You can't do that. One person can't build that many websites. It's too hard. There's too much that has to be, organized, and DNS issues and coordinating schedules and copy reviews and all of the things that go into, launching and deploying a website. You can't do 5 every single month in any sort of reasonable way. And even if you could, even if you had a pattern down where you just kind of, churned out, a 5-page website with a contact form and you charged $1,000 for it or whatever, why would you bother doing that? Why would you do that? If you were going to really be helping a client, wouldn't you just say, hey, you know what, if that's the kind of website you want, there's Wix. Go there and, you can make it yourself for free. There's no maintenance. There's no updates necessary. It gives you a link that you can put on your business card. If that's the kind of website you want, why don't you just do it for free? Why are they paying you $1,000 for that or $500 for that? So the point that I'm making with that is that if you really want to help your clients and you want to make an awesome living doing it, the best way to go about it is to shift out of being a WordPress business and into being a business powered by WordPress. Because WordPress is freaking amazing. There's absolutely so many things that you can be doing with it and generating real outcomes for clients. But the key is you have to bump it up a notch. You have to get to the point where you're not just showing up at a meeting saying, hey, do you want a new website? Or tell me what you want your website to do. Or what's your budget, and I'll figure out what I can do with that budget for you and your website. You have to get out of that. That's just not the way to have a high value business. What you need to be doing is you need to be leading your clients into the success that they're looking for through the tools that you have access to, because the WordPress economy is rocking out. I mean, there's no question about it. There's new stuff created all of the time. Stuff that's already been out there keeps getting better. It's really a brand new opportunity with regard to how things are evolving in the WordPress world. And the proof is in the pudding. It's like there's like a third of the websites that are on the internet are powered by WordPress. And if you kind of shrink that down into websites that are powered by a content management system overall, it's like 2/3. It's like a huge number of websites are out there powered by WordPress. And when people get out there and say WordPress is no good, they've completely lost touch with reality. WordPress is amazing. And what the problem is, the way that things are kind of the way that people like interact with the services is where the shortcoming is. And so if you shift out of trying to sell people plugins or custom themes or maintenance updates or whatever, or like what if your pitch is, hey, let me rebuild your Wix website onto WordPress because now you own all the content. Nobody cares about that. Like that's a really hard sell, because then here's what's going to happen. You're going to say, okay, now you own all the content from your site because you host your site. It's all on WordPress. But the client is going to be like, well, wait a minute. Now you're charging me for plugin updates and I got to pay more for hosting. And, if the site gets hacked, I've got to do something about it. We're like, with Wix, all of that's taken care of. I don't have to do anything about that. And so if the value proposition that you're offering is you own the content, then that's like, that doesn't matter. That's not a thing. And so it's very difficult to sell those kinds of projects. But if on the other hand, you start saying, hey, what are you trying to do with your business? And you start, getting these business goals, like you're working with someone who wants more phone calls. You want wants more people into the business to actually look at a product like swimming pool sales or, whatever it is. And you start figuring out, or what, like if you're working with an author or a coach or somebody who writes, for a living, what can you do to make sure people understand when the next book is out, when they're going to be at book signings? How can they do better than just having a Facebook page to announce stuff? All of those kinds of questions, if you can help people, get to that next step, you could provide the outcome with whatever you want, but WordPress is absolutely the best platform to do it because you can do anything that you want. It's an unlimited potential there to be able to crush it for your clients. And so that's really the point of what I wanted to bring up today is if you run a business powered by WordPress, you have this unlimited potential to just do amazing things for yourself, for your clients, and then for your clients' clients. And so, that's really the whole point of all of it. It's like, if you're just building inexpensive, cheap websites that don't do anything, you're hurting everybody. You're hurting yourself because you're burning yourself out. You're trying to find clients all the time. It's frustrating, and you're submitting proposals, and everybody's pushing the price down, and it's just a mess. But then you're hurting your client too, because in the event that you're able to get someone to finally agree and they give you $500 to build a website, well, you should be putting them on Wix where they don't have to pay for updates and they don't have to pay for security stuff. And it's just a cheap, free site that's free, literally. And so, and then on top of that, you're hurting your clients because it's not doing anything. Having the website on the internet doesn't help in any way. I mean, maybe there's a link for a business card or the footer for your email or whatever, but it's like, it's not actively doing anything. So you're kind of hurting your clients with that. And then you're hurting your clients' clients because they're not finding, like your clients' clients aren't finding your clients with a website like that. And so everyone's losing in that scenario. But if you flip it around and now you've got a business powered by WordPress where the intent is to generate the business outcomes, like the measurable, tangible, real stuff that people want, then that makes everything better because now you've got long-term, high-value relationships with your clients. So you're not having to find clients all the time. You're building in monthly retainers so that you're cultivating that business strategy over time as you work with people, which is a huge value to you and to them. So it's a huge win for you. It stabilizes your business. It allows you to literally scale because every time you get a new client, you give yourself a raise as opposed to just kind of getting back to where you were before because you lost all your income after you launched your last site. So now you've got a business structure that will scale. And then and it's better for your clients now too because you're actually generating what they want. You're getting them more calls. You're getting them more leads. You're doing something with their website. And the best thing is you'll probably be working with clients that do awesome stuff. Like I know most of my clients do like amazing things, like life-changing things for people. Like they literally can make people who can't leave their house out of fear of having an upset stomach or just fatigue all the time or, food allergies, that kind of stuff. They can help those people and get their lives back and get the energy back, be able to go to the baseball games again and their kids' birthdays again and back to work without freaking out over where they're going to eat all the time. And all of these things can be done, but if you're not helping them reach those people that have those issues, there's all these people out there that are going unserved, and I kind of feel like you just owe it to those people and to your clients to do better than that. So if that's the kind of thing that you want to do, if you want to really, build and grow and stabilize your business, and you want to build and grow and stabilize your customers' business, and you want to reach the people that need the help that your customers can offer, then let's talk about that. Let's talk about how you can shift your business from being a WordPress business into a business powered by WordPress, and how that today, and like what we're the spot we're in right now with regard to how the ecosystem is evolving, is the best time ever to do that. And if what you need is you need some help with either, like what skills, how do you get the skills that generate those outcomes? Like how do you do that? Like how do you do better than a Facebook page for building an audience? Or how do you get phone calls in? Or how do you like write copy? Like how do you help your client to describe their business in a way that actually makes people want to engage with them? And that's a big thing. That's one of the big things that I was talking about with my most recent client that we talked about a couple Tuesdays ago with that $7,700 project. The copywriting aspect of it, and how do you draw clients in with your messaging? And so once you learn how to do that for them, you can do it for yourself too. So it's like it's a skill that can be applied for your own business as well as with the clients that you're working on. And so if that's something that you want to work on, then let's talk about that. Or maybe you have problems with your proposals, like you just don't know how to write a good proposal. You're kind of in the mindset of selling WordPress to people, and so you talk about maintenance plans and plugin updates and security and custom theme development and plugins, whatever, and that's kind of what you put in your proposal, and you're talking about SEO and graphic design work and all of those things. Well, I think you're going to find that those types of proposals tend to be disengaging for clients, and they, and a symptom of that is you send the proposal and you never hear anything back. You don't hear yes, you don't hear no, you just don't hear anything. Or people just tell you that they're not interested, or maybe they say they are interested, but they never take action. And so, these are all issues that come up from these kinds of, dry proposals. So why don't I show you the exact structure of my proposals that win these $7,700 projects, right? I'll show you each section, why I put the sections in the order that they're in, what kind of content to put it, give you the proposal so you can do that kind of same stuff. And not just that, but how do you run the meetings so that you establish yourself as a leader and not just someone there to do like technical tasks. Because technical tasks are very low value, leading a client into the success that they're looking for, very high value. So if that's the kind of stuff that you want to work on, then that's the whole point of why I put together this group, and the Double Stack program is to really show you how that works. It's a mentorship program, right? So there's obviously course materials and things like that to make sure you've got the skills to be able to generate these outcomes. There's lessons about how to do the proposals and all that stuff. But the real thing that differentiates what I'm trying to offer here is you and me will work together on an ongoing basis for like 8 weeks, and you'll really begin to shift into this different style of business where you're going to be able to ramp up your rates without losing clients. You're going to be able to encourage and lead your clients into this success. And if that's the kind of stuff you're looking for, then let's talk about it. And so we can get started for free. So you can go over to doublestack.net/call, book a call with me. We'll spend about 45 minutes on the phone, and we'll talk about who is your target market, and what kind of clients are you trying to work with, and what are the prices you want to you're trying to get from the work that you're having, and is the structure of your business working, or do you need to shift things around a little bit so that your business structure is really something that can scale to where you want it to be. And once you get that, how do you start hitting those income goals? Like, what are those business packages that you can offer that's better than just like WordPress maintenance for $50 a month or whatever? Like, how can you get those retainers up into like $500, $1,000 per month? How can you get, what can you do for a client to generate those kinds of retainers? Like, how can you structure your business like that? So if that's the kind of stuff that you want to talk about, let's absolutely do it. And you can go to doublestack.net/call, and you're going to see my schedule there. And that's where you'll be able to pick a time. I've tried to make my personal schedule open as much as I can, and you can just pick a time. We'll talk for like 45 minutes, and we'll talk about all of those things that I just mentioned, and that's awesome. And then, like, right after you pick a time, you'll see a little form with a couple of questions where you can give me a link to your website and tell me a little bit about yourself. So before the call, I can be primed and ready to go and just pack that 45 minutes with as much value as I can for you. And I think that you're going to find it's a really eye-opening experience. I know that a lot of the folks I've talked to have really enjoyed the call. And so I want to invite you guys to do the same thing. So if that looks like something that you want to do, head over to doublestack.net/call, select that time. We'll get on the phone for 45 minutes. And then we'll also be doing these Facebook Lives every twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 p.m. So thanks for coming here. And if you're here now, go ahead and say something in the comments below. Let me know that you're here. And if you have any questions, you can put those in there. Or if nothing else, just like kind of jot your name down or say hello or high five, whoop. And that lets me know that you're here. And that's very helpful. So okay, great. Thumbs up, and hopefully we'll be talking on the phone. And if not, we'll see you back here again on Tuesday for another Facebook Live. And in the meantime, again, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be keeping an eye on this throughout the week. So, there's Alan. Boom. Right back at you, buddy. And Justin. Boom. Good to see both of you guys. So awesome. And hopefully we'll be talking again soon. And again, leave any questions right here, and I'll be happy to answer them best I can. All right, guys. Awesome. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week.